Let's put our hands together and welcome on stage our keynote speaker, Miss Shanthi Rajesh, to address the gathering.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's another year for me in Sri Lanka. Thanks, Bhushan, for giving me this opportunity. Thanks to CICRA and Daily FT for giving me this opportunity. It's a tremendous year for me. I've been on multiple sessions and talking across. And today, if I Google Shanthi Rajesh, I get to see all the photos of me that I've spoken in the past. So that is something that I have to really appreciate. Sri Lanka, being very, very empathetic and nice to have me on the stage. I am Shanthi. I'm sure you've had my background. I lead cybersecurity in Sysco Labs. It's always a pleasure, and I think the first diversity on the stage, I take this honor to call it out explicitly. Sri Lanka has given an opportunity for the diversities and Sysco Labs for me to be here on the stage. So today I want to talk about human and AI partnership. I'm sure most of you would have, spoken about AI, and we've had two amazing keynote sessions in the morning talking about cybersecurity, adversary effects, and so on and so forth. But today I just wanted to, kind of give a little flip to the AI and human partnership. I'm sure there's a lot of talk around the corner across globe that we talk. There are a lot of, job reductions because of AI coming in. But I have a contrary note on that. It's not about, the replacement of human, but it's augmentation of human. So that's where I wanted to talk about human-AI partnership. Today I have a very limited slides here because it's already been spoken about the human and the cybersecurity challenges, tools, technologies. So I'm just going to concentrate more about the human and AI. So these are something that I wanted to start with. Before even I start with the human and AI partnership, I really wanted to talk about the cyber threat landscape that we have. Today, if you have to see the market, the global AI cybersecurity is projected to about 1.3 trillion by 2030, and it is being driven by the need of an organization. And this is where the human augmentation is really imperative for us to have both human intelligence and AI intelligence. How do we address, that's something that we're going to look at in the upcoming slides. How do we kind of, augment, and how we are going to bridge the gap between the human intelligence and artificial intelligence. AI-powered cyber attacks are increasing about 13% annually, and we see that there is a need for cybersecurity professionals, which is about 3.4 million, and still there is a gap globally. And how do we kind of bridge this? And the kind of attacks that's happening because of AI-powered engines and tools, technologies, how do we kind of bridge is big, question mark. And that's where we will have to ensure that we build intelligence within the organization, apart from the vendors that we kind of rely on. Close to about 90% of the threats are being detected by AI, and that's something that we will have to, admire and acknowledge, and of course, it's complementing the human intelligence. And I will again, talk about how this is going to really help us, augmenting the human. And about 60% of the false positives have really come down. So this is where, again, human and AI partnership works. What's the difference? I'm sure most of you must be gazing at this picture. Which picture is beautiful, right? Sorry, I had to just put a women picture here to make sure that kind of supporting the diversity here. So, but then one is human and the other one is AI. Obviously, to differentiate, we have those circuits around to make sure that there is a difference. What's the difference between human intelligence and AI intelligence? Just to take a step back, human is something that to do with emotions, consciousness, abstract conceptual, whereas artificial intelligence is nothing but a program or a tools that is combination of product and data, millions of data that is being analyzed, and that comes through artificial intelligence. What are the differences that we really see in terms of, be it in terms of the tools, technologies, and how the intervention happens in human? There are various tools and technologies in the market. I would be speaking about that in the next slide. But before that, again, human intelligence plays a vital role in kind of making that decision in terms of giving the unbiased decisions when it comes to the artificial intelligence. If you see, there are millions of data that has been, ingested, and how do we even analyze, and how do we even get to the predictions? So artificial intelligence tools does help us, giving us the complete predictions. Having said, is there any kind of consciousness, empathetic? No, that's where human plays a vital role. So this is where the human have to intervene to make that conscious decisions and ensure that we are addressing the right threats, right vulnerabilities. Every other organizations are being supported with humongous tools and technologies. I have seen global companies spending exorbitant in terms of the tools and technologies, but still there are huge number of backlogs, there are huge number of risks, there are many vulnerabilities which goes unattended. And that's one of the reasons that because of artificial intelligence, the data that we analyze, the prediction that happens, it's at unprecedented rate. And in order to address these, we need human like us who are being trained on cybersecurity, who are being trained on artificial intelligence, and ensure that we kind of address these challenges. That's where the difference lies. And I'm sure, there are a lot of conversation that's been happening in the board, right from the board, and it drills down to the, junior levels or the bottom, saying that there will be, challenges in terms of the opportunities because AI is taking away most of the, jobs. So to add to that, in contrary, while we have challenges, there might be reductions, but I will definitely see that there is a growth and opportunity having AI and human. Without human, there is no one who can actually have all the programs or the algorithms written. It's the algorithms written by human and it's been fed into the machine. And because of which today we are able to have this artificial intelligence. It is a research that we have been doing it. And I, personally come from a research background, being a scholar. I know there are so many challenges despite of having artificial intelligence. We still lack human abilities and the capabilities. And that's where, the difference comes, human and AI partnership. And this is again, I just picked up a couple of them, but this is not the list, end of the list. We have humongous number of solutions, tools, technologies to support cybersecurity challenges. But just to call it out, the first one that I wanted to talk about, email filtering. I know email is really a challenge. All of us are sending emails constantly within the organization, outside the organizations. But how do you even ensure that there are proactive measures as compared to the reactive measures? So this is where the email filtering, AI augmentation has AI AI is already revolutionizing cybersecurity. And in terms of email filtering, there are various anomalies being detected. More than the keywords and scanning of the keywords, we see that there are a lot of signatures, a lot of intelligence that's come in place that detects the vulnerabilities and threats from the day one. And this is also helping the zero-day attacks. For example, there are so many emails that comes at at a different odd time. Maybe if the organization is working between 9 to 5, you see emails triggering at about 3 a.m. in the morning. Or locations, it could be coming from a different countries. So this is how AI detects. Because the AI builds the profile for each of the users and tries and understands how the anomalies work. If there is an anomaly or a deviation, and that's how the email filtering works, and that's how we could address most of the challenges. If you see having AI in place, it is possible for us to scan millions of email, in fraction of a second and get that analysis. And this is like, monitoring doesn't happen just, 9 hours a day, but it happens 24/7, 365 days. And because of the challenges, because of the threats, vulnerabilities that are existing in today's market, we need someone who would actually, address these challenges. So that's where the AI is being augmented in the tools like email filtering, and that is very important. Moving on to the next one, endpoint protection. Endpoint protection is a protection of the devices. It could be, laptops, it could be servers. How do we even, identify there are millions of devices in companies like Sysco have so many employees, about 60,000 employees in the organization. How do we even ensure that there are, we have stringent measures to kind of monitor, and that's where AI comes in picture. There are so many tools again which supports endpoint protection, which ensures that it detects the anomalies. It does have a sandbox, which even before even it kind of any kind of malicious that comes to the devices, it is scanned, it is analyzed, and if there are any incidents or if there are any threats that's been reported, then we kind of ensure that it has been addressed in the sandbox before even it kind of enters the devices. And there are, we would still talk about the security operations, how the AI is being augmented. The last one that I want to talk about is the threat hunting. Of course, as I said, this is not just the end of the list. It's like there are too many lists, which I really wanted to, with the interest of the time, I really want to pick up these three. Threat hunting is again automated search of the hidden threats. It could be anywhere in the network. And now the AI being augmented, we see that a lot of threats which have been predicted much more, ahead. And we get to know about the threats that has been hunted. And accordingly, there is also been, remediated to ensure that we do not have any kind of, unavailability in the systems. And there are various other tools. There are many vendors in the market which really support us. There are a lot of solutions. So moving on to the next one, the AI Augmented Security Operations Center. This is another example that I really want to pick it up and talk about it. Most of the organizations do ingest, have amazing SOC built, be it through the MSSPs or it could be their own security operations, or it could be a global SOC as well. In the process, there are a lot of devices, there are a lot of logs being ingested in the Security Operations Center. But despite of having all the logs, do we really address all the threats, vulnerabilities? Do we really get to know what is the depth and the length and breadth of the challenges? No, we are still facing the challenge. We are still having an issue. Despite of having AI unified platforms in the market, we still have challenges faced. That's because the kind of threats that is posing, it's again at a machine speed, where we will have to ensure that these are being addressed at a machine speed as well. And this is where AI, artificial intelligence, comes into picture and make sure that we have unified platforms having SIM, SOAR, or it could be, Yuba, or it could be even the firewall, next-gen firewall. All of these are being, on the same platform. Having said, coming back to the ingestion of the logs, even now, despite of having all the logs, there are some of the logs which goes unidentified. And this is a challenge that we face in the industry. It is not about artificial intelligence, or it's not about human augmentation. It is the awareness that needs to be created. It's the use of the tools that every other human needs to know. And, and of course, the basics. It has to start from the basics, understand what's the artificial intelligence all about, understand how human can complement artificial intelligence, and ensure that these logs are being addressed at the right period. So having said, same SOAR and all of these are ingested in SOC, but how do we even get the detections right? How do we even kind of make sure that it's been responded? So this is where the number says in today's era, there are about 90% of the threats are being detected. There's about 75% of the response time, which is better. We see that the SOC analyst level ones are also being replaced by artificial intelligence. The moment you receive any kind of threats or into the system, it is being addressed by AI. And this is just 24/7, so it ensures that we're kind of ensuring that threats are being addressed at the right time, and it's been sandboxed to do the further investigations. And there is also artificial intelligence tooling that helps us taking right from the ticketing to ensuring that we have the postmortem done, and then the availability, making sure the system is back reinstated. So that's where the response time is also better and shorter MTTR, which means mean time to respond. And we see that about companies talking about huge savings because of the AI integrated tools, especially in cybersecurity, which says about 90% on a year-on-year, people are able to save the budget. And in terms of the monitoring, there has been 90% monitoring happening, which is not possible by human because there's so many data that gets in on a day-to-day basis, and there's so many threats equally being posed. And with this, we see that the monitoring is much better as compared to the traditional or the legacy systems. So with the security operations system being augmented with human as well as the artificial intelligence, we have seen the enhanced detections. It could be in terms of real-time behavioral analysis, or it could be in terms of anomaly-based detections, or it could be intelligent automation where we are able to respond immediately. It could be the alert fatigue that we have been talking since morning. Because of the alert fatigue, there are teams who are not able to even handle these alerts, and this is really helping us. AI tools are really helping us to identify those false positives and make sure that we are able to look into the actual ones or the critical ones. And then having the human augmentation, obviously we did do the detections where, again, it's not just about artificial intelligence, it's about human intelligence, which plays a vital role. The level ones are generally being addressed by the SOC analyst, but if you also see the level 2s and level 3s within the SOC, it is imperative to have, again, human, and that's where we play a vital role. While we have all of these data being, the unstructured data being converted into structured data, and then we kind of build all the dashboards to ensure that we have the right data in front of us, but still, at the end of the day, it is the incident response team who needs to, address and make sure that the system is back to the, or reinstated into availability state. So that's where, multiple solutions being integrated and on a unified platforms. There are many SaaS platforms, which is also helping us to address some of these security operations center globally. So these are the examples that I really wanted to iterate and say how human and AI can be integrated with the cybersecurity portfolios. Moving on to the next one, the impact of AI. I'm sure most of this, there are so many undergrad students, interns here out, and not just in Sri Lanka, but I have also seen in India predominantly, there are so many abuses that keeps happening. There's so many deep fakes because of artificial intelligence. We see there are a lot of challenges that's been imposed, and it is not just about the adults like us. It's about the children who are also unaware what to do and what not to do. So this is where we are facing humongous problem, while AI is also helping a lot of industries, including supply chain, healthcare, banking, many industries, but then we see there are so many abuses that keeps happening. And me coming from India, I know for a fact that there are a lot of, challenges that's there in terms of the, child abuse. And that's not because, there are intentions, right? It's because of unintentional challenges. The kids who are, unaware of the social media engineering challenges, and the undergrads, everybody, of course, wanted to, socialize or, self-market ourselves to be in the industry. But then at the end of the day, these are the challenges that's been imposed. So this is where the, challenges are exposed, and we will have to create that awareness. It could be in the society, it could be within the country, it could be within the organizations, or it could be even the schools and colleges. So adversarial machine learning is again a major challenge, which actually manipulates manipulates a lot of programs, and then we could end up giving the wrong predictions. So that's another adversarial machine learning problem that we have been having. Automated attack bots. And this is, anything that you want to kind of put it in Gemini, or it could be ChatGPT, you get all the answers. But today, we also write from the requirements. Using the agentic AI, we kind of have all the requirements, coming in. But at the end of the day, these requirements can also be, drilled down to programs, and which can be, created into applications. And this is something that even undergrad students, or even in the kids in the school, are able to do it. And without, because of these, adequate information availability in the system, or it could be in the internet, we see there are a lot of threats and vulnerabilities which is being, again, exposed. And that's where even the bots attack that happens in the organizations, they could be malicious interventions, and then the, companies being, or the organization being exploited. The next one is the data and model manipulation. Obviously, we call this as a data poisoning, data manipulation. So basically manipulating the trained data within the artificial intelligence. So the more you kind of train it, the more there are adversarial effects, right? So which means you want any kind of industry to be giving you the accurate information. So we train the AI, we train the data, we kind of make it very structured format, and that's the moment your access or compromise, this is where again we kind of see the challenges and issues and everything out, including including the accesses, be it your GitHub, or it could be any of the cloud platforms. There are a lot of access that has been exposed and compromised. So that is again because of the manipulation and wrong predictions, which also eventually lead to a bias and discriminations. And because of the bias of discriminations, there are many examples where women are being, not just women, not just about children, nothing to do with the gender, but it's again, predominantly that I see the lot of challenges that's been exposed because of deepfakes, and there are a lot of biases and discriminations that's been, prevailing. And the kind of challenges that has been exposed in the social media is humongous. So how do we even kind of address this is something that we will have to look into it as a global organizations, and everybody own those responsibility and accountability in ensuring that these, impact of AI has to be, kind of brought it down, right? And the negative impact that I'm talking about. Lack of transparency again. So lack of transparency is where, there are so many algorithms that's been programmed, that's been, data has been trained to give you the accurate results. So how do we even kind of, make sure that there is a better transparency? And this is where the AI governance has to be in place. Each and every organization should have the frameworks, should have, the frameworks, and of course the AI awareness, and right from the top to bottom approach, using those top-bottom approach, we should ensure that we have absolute knowledge in terms of AI, and then ensure that we kind of address this transparency. Privacy risk, and this is again, a biggest issue, right? Privacy is not just in this country, but the privacy issue is global. How do we even kind of address these privacy risks? There are so many, challenges, and to call it out, be it in the government sectors, or it could be in any of the industries. So this is again, something that really poses a huge impact, in terms of the huge impact in terms of the cybersecurity. So as I spoke about the data poisoning again, it's training all modifying the data within the trained data, and that is something that is leading to the discrimination and biases. So these are some of the impacts that we have been seeing. But here is the statistics. While we have a contrary note of having AI as well as the human, but we still see the numbers are staggering, because most of the organizations are most of the organizations are still leveraging AI. And if we do not leverage AI, trust me, it's not going to be easy for us to travel the journey. And today everything, even if you have to buy something online, and if the page doesn't load for more than 2 or 3 seconds, nobody has patience. And I'm sure most of them must be witnessing this. We go to a cart, we kind of, find there are so many things that we wanted to buy, because we are all busy, working either at home, or it could be outside. And it's very tough for us to even, hold for 30 seconds or 1 minute while the page loads, because we wanted to, immediately do. So this is where AI comes into picture, which keeps automating the process, which, identifies that this is your, requirements, and it kind of immediately gives you that inputs, be it in terms of the e-commerce, or it could be in the supply chain. Everywhere, AI plays a vital role. And the numbers are very, very staggering, that it says about AI-driven sales are expected to reach about 1.3 trillion by 2030. 65% of the AI users are millennials or Gen Zs. And today, I have witnessed, in my house itself, my children get to use, AIs, and they are, constantly talking about AI. So I'm sure the life is changing, the era is changing, and it is we who have to bring the change and make sure that we kind of embrace the change and ensure that we also equally work towards the challenges that we are having in terms of the AI. 72% of the companies worldwide use AI at least in one business function. And today, even the governments are thinking about integrating AI. While India has already, traveled a long way in terms of digital economy, we've had a lot of, automated solutions, and we are having AI, and that's going to be one of the major sector. And we also see that the projected GAR is about 43%, which is being expected 2032 until 2032. And the sales that we expect, or the AI market share that we expect, is about 800 billion. So these are the numbers which is really helping us move towards the AI. And I'm sure AI is, in essence, if I have to call it out, it is never a replacement, rather I would say relational, right? So this is where, in conclusion, that I wanted to talk and say, AI is very, very important. And in today's world, it is more of a relation rather than it is a robotic. And I'm sure, in one of the quotes, Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, did tell that it's not a replacement, but it's a staff augmentation. How do we even have these capabilities, augmented to make sure that it complements us, and then, we kind of drive towards a better success, better economy, and, we kind of move forward in the right spirit. Having said, I take this opportunity to thank each one of you to hear out what I said today, and it is our responsibility to make sure that each and every sectors have equal accountability and responsibility to ensure that we have a safe, citizens. Thank you so much.